Hello everyone, I'm so glad you're with me today. In this video, we're going to explore a new brand. It is called Polite Society, and there aren't a ton of pieces involved in the brand yet, but we do have a foundation, we've got lip color and mascara, and we've got a couple of palettes as well. So this brand is from the creators of Too Faced, and when I saw some things trickling out about this within the past few months, I thought I need to try that. Like, I'm very intrigued. What's this all about? The packaging looked cute. The products, especially what I saw in the palettes, they looked very promising, and so it was definitely something I wanted to experiment with and do a full video on, because a lot of you all were probably wondering about it the way I was. It seems to be exclusive to Ulta, and the costs are typical high-end makeup costs, like $42 for the foundation. The brand is vegan, clean ingredients, cruelty-free, and yeah, as of now, I've got my skincare on, and I'll just be plugging in these parts as we go. I hope you guys have had a good weekend. We've had Bub's parents here throughout the weekend. They're actually still here as I shoot this morning, but they're heading back to Texas today, and the kids and everyone has had a lot of fun. Last night, Bubba showed Grandpa all of his toy lawn equipment, so that was fun. But we're going to begin with the More Than a Pretty Face Skin Caring Foundation. So the packaging, I think, is absolutely adorable, and then you take this cap off and you have the pump. On the back of this, it says niacinamide willow bark and vegan hyaluronic acid, but if you get into the claims a little bit more, they are really trying to promote this as a skincare meets makeup hybrid. Some of the benefits listed, they say it's long wearing, natural luminous soft filter finish. They claim it has buildable medium to full coverage, immediate hydration, transfer resistant, oxidation proof. I don't usually see that as a claim that's made. And it says Forest Stewardship Council certified and post-consumer recycled packaging materials. So that's cool. It's 91% natural origin ingredients. The shade I got is called Very Light, and there are 30 different shade options here. I feel like the brand is kind of serious. By putting this out, by putting out some of the other key pieces, I feel like there's probably more coming. But yeah, so far I have had good luck with this foundation. I do feel like it wears well, although I do set it. The buildable medium to full coverage, I don't know that I've experienced total full coverage with this yet, but I also haven't done a lot of building. So I get out one pump and I'm gonna dab it around. And the consistency is, I would say thin, but it's not like a water weight foundation. It certainly doesn't feel heavy though, but it's not the consistency that's gonna start running down my face. Just trying to swipe off everything here. And then I'm gonna blend this in with my e.l.f. Duo brush and just start dabbing it in. And I feel like maybe I haven't been doing a total full pump of this in my recent uses, because that time it felt like it was a full pump and I think I got a little bit more than necessary. Maybe this will tell us if it's full coverage, because I do feel like I've been getting a strong medium out of it the last few times I've put it on. The claim about immediate hydration, I do totally see and feel that. It makes my skin look and feel a little more dewy after I put it on. However, I feel it hasn't gotten in the way of my staying power. It hasn't created an issue where that's concerned. Shade, while it went on looking kind of yellow, I feel like it blends in and everything looks pretty darn good. This is certainly approaching full coverage with the full pump. That's interesting that I did that today, because normally I think I'm going just shy of the full pump. Okay, so we're just dabbing it in. We're making sure no area is without full blend. Now, I didn't have any certain primer on with this. It was just my skincare, because I wanted you to see just the level of glow that comes off with this foundation. See, like on my cheek, it's not because there's shimmer in it, but it's just a very hydrating foundation, and it makes the skin look like that. I wouldn't say it's the stickiest thing ever, but I just feel dewy when I touch my skin. And again, the full pump, definitely, it added to the coverage, but it kind of added to the glowiness also. Just more is on my skin right now. But again, it looks good. It wears very evenly and consistently for being a foundation that feels like this. Just to give you a more close-up look, the reason why I'm saying it really is knocking on the door of full coverage right now is because I normally see my little freckles through a little bit more, and here I can barely see them unless I'm really looking up close. I definitely feel totally evened out at this point. We don't have a concealer from this brand, but I am going to go ahead and do like my concealer and setting powder steps with you, so you can see like what I've been doing with this that ends up resulting in a good staying power day. I do feel like the foundation was able to do some work on the under eye area. Definitely not non-existent there, but I'm going to go in with some NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in Vanilla And I'm just gonna dot it in here. I'm not adding in my corrector today because in my experimentation, I feel like this can be enough with this foundation. Although I do love that combo. I mean, if you feel like you're extra dark, putting on a little bit of the e.l.f. corrector is awesome. So what I'm doing first is my usual thing of spreading it out with the smaller end of my e.l.f. Duo brush. And then I kind of dab it in with the larger part of the brush. Just go over all those little places. Oh, I love this concealer. It just always delivers, always gives that really flawless look, but wears without looking like a lot was put on. Just dabbing over, you're always gonna have to watch those little areas. I love the way these products come together because this is really not a very dewy concealer at all, but on top of that foundation, like they make a pretty good partner because the skin is just emollient enough to really work nicely alongside that. So I do that, and then I'm going to take my Maybelline Fit Me, which has really been a go-to loose powder for me lately. I just love it. I'm going to get some on my triangle powder puff, and we're going to really set this. Some might think, Em, you're knocking on the door of 40. Maybe you don't need to bake anymore, but I swear, I know what combos work. I do watch the wear time of most things, and this looks fresh. This works. Okay, so we're getting it on there, and we'll dust away any excess that you're seeing right now. And I'm gonna make sure I hit the T-zone right around the nostrils with it too. I think that really affects staying power. That's an area for breakdown for me on my skin. Polite Society. Okay, so I've got that everywhere I want it. Oh, and I need to go on with the lip plumper fairly soon because I really want you to see the result of the lip plumper. Okay, so we're just dabbing that in, dusting away, you know, it's doing its thing. Under eye, it's looking amazing. And then, you know, there's extra on the brush, and I find I could, at this point, I can like start dabbing that around other places just for a light bit of powder. A light set. Anywhere else? Yeah, I would set lightly elsewhere too. I'm gonna take a little L'Oreal Infallible, just a little. I mean, we're talking, we just rolled the brush in once and we just stamp it on down in here. Staying power, y'all. We like it. Seriously, just a minimal amount can be all you need. Now, yeah, we're going to use this lip plumper. I went ahead and got the mini size of it, and you can get a mini mascara as well. I sometimes just question if I'm getting the legit right experience out of a mini mascara sometimes, just because there's not as much real estate for the brush to come through when you're taking it out, and I feel like sometimes the mini operates different than the full size. So that's why I got full size mascara, but I did get the mini lip plumper, and this is called the BIG Mouth Lip Plumping Oil Gloss, and it looks like, I'm just confirming here that there is just the one color that it comes in. It says it will blow your lips and your mind instantly and over time with our exclusive hydrating formula that's not for the faint of heart. I'm glad they said that because this is definitely the most intense plumping experience I have had with a lip product. Packaging is cute, by the way. I like how they have the little like raised text on some of their things. It really makes it feel luxe. But this is kind of like a soft, goldeny, creamy product. Not golden by metallic, but just see the color tone of it. It's not about the color you're putting on. It's about what this does to your lips. Like, it will create a color out of your lips. So I'm putting this on, and it's feeling like a medium thickness gloss right now. Not too thin, not too goopy, but I can immediately feel the stinginess. So what it's doing is, I think, just absolutely stinging the heck out of your lips. It will plump them, and it will turn them the rosiest color you've ever seen anything turn your lips. It's not because it's staining your lips, it's because of the plumping, the irritating that's going on there, okay? Does this burn more than Too Faced Lip Injection? Yes. This is on the high end of plumping and feeling it, and the hot feeling burny plumper. And the packaging is just so like sweet and innocent, but you put it on and it's going for it, and it is going to make my lips appear to have this kind of coming from within rosiness when I'm done. And I have not seen one single product in my collection do it to that extent. I do have a little, probably some foundation residue here on my lips somewhat, but hi kitten. But when this stuff kind of gets rubbed off, you're gonna see it. You're gonna be like, wow, it did that. You smell good. Oh my gosh, it's so burny. Like there's nothing's dying down. If anything, it's only ramping up. I'm gonna use my Hard Candy Instant Summer Bronzer because the face palette I have is really just blush and highlight. So I'm gonna get some of this and we'll bronze up the skin. It's the type of thing where if you really like were into this effect that it's giving the lips, I think you could grow to tolerate this, but I don't know. Like, would this be a choice I would make every morning? Like, that's the feeling I wanna have. I use some Buxom lip products recently. I have a little set of Buxom lip colors, and I guess I hadn't really used a Buxom gloss in a while. And those are honestly like, they do some plumping, but they feel so soothing. You know, they feel cooling. They're the polar opposite on your lips compared to this stuff. But does this plump more? I think this does plump in a more extreme way. My lips are 100% absolutely getting fuller right now. I can just tell as I talk and as they touch, they're bigger. And they're getting just more color in them. And then when I wipe this off, because I will at some point and we'll do an actual lip color, some of this foundation-y color that's also gotten on my lips, I should have taken that off first, but we're into the process now. Just right out to the edge. Like if you really put the product absolutely everywhere on the lips, which I did, I mean, you will be plumped right out to the edge of your lips. I would say you know who you are. If you want a lip plumper that really does something and you don't care how it feels, go for it. And it, like I said, it comes in a mini size. That's what I bought. So we're bronzed up a little bit. I didn't go too hard with it today. Like, I don't feel like I'm that big of a wimp, but this is honestly, it's distracting to me, the amount of pain I still feel that has not died down. We're gonna move on to the blush. Okay, this is the Go Flush Yourself blush palette. It's so cute. The packaging is here. I feel like Too Faced put out something that looked like this before, but you open it up and you have a nice little mirror inside, and we have 3 blushes and a highlighter here. One blush is pretty darn matte, like a matte coral. One is this soft, kind of like, it's beigey looking. It does show on the cheeks. It has a satin finish. And then this coral right here definitely has some sheen. And I was thinking for some reason, because of its shimmer that I see, it's like a little bit of a goldeny shift. I was thinking maybe that's gonna be sheer on the cheeks. I wore it the other day. I was like, whoa, that's super pigmented. And then here's a highlight down here, which can be very pronounced. They say this includes 3 blushes, 1 highlighter, and multi-modern finishes designed to be mixed, matched, and layered to achieve any look. The one thing I would say is that it would have been kind of cool if one of these wasn't so peachy, right? Like maybe one went a bit more pink, although maybe, you know, there's another blush palette coming, who knows? If I were them, I would put this same thing out in a totally different color family, so people have kind of a choice there. But I'm gonna start by applying some of this one. We need to distract ourselves from the plumping that continues to occur. I'm gonna go over here. This is again a satiny finish, kind of nude seeming, but as you're gonna notice, it gives a little warmth to the cheeks, okay? That's that color right there. Just applied with like one go round. See, I like that. I like that that shows. And I've been doing my blush a little more focused, like up in here these days, but I'm gonna be applying multiple blushes, so I gotta take up some surface area. That's pretty, just that blush and that blush alone. This one, I might leave it alone today because I think it's very what you see is what you get, okay? It's a matte coral, slightly deeper coral, heavy on the peach, lighter on the pink, because I think every coral has like a little distribution of those 2 shades. But this one over here, this one's really pretty. It's got a lot of glow, like I said, and more pigment than you might think. So I'm going to start swirling that out here on my cheeks. And I just picked up the tiniest bit on my brush. And you really see that pretty, ooh, pretty color. Again, a lot of glow, get a little on. And yeah, I wore this to church the other day and I was like, it really showed and it lasted, which kind of surprised me with the finish that it has. Sometimes the shimmer, the filler, you think about, well, is that going to be able to cling onto my skin as well? I think it did a great job. It's highly pigmented. It's sneakily pigmented. Is sneakily a word? There we go. There's those 2. And then we'll do some highlighter. Highlight's really nice. I have no complaints about it. I get my brush in, I tap off some excess, and then this beautiful, I've just been so satisfied with my highlighters lately, applying in this way, this kind of apple of the cheek highlighter method. You know, let the blush go up and do its lift, but get that glow going right here. I just kind of blend it out. I mean, frankly, I feel like it's almost blurring the way this highlighter is. It's so nice. Even with the little tweak I might put on this palette, like I said, maybe making that shade a little more pink, it's still one of my favorite parts of the line. I think it's beautiful. I love the textures. There's no dud in here. I love the outer packaging as well. And I like opening it up and thinking, you know, what combo of these shades will I use today? I don't just stick with one, you know, at least put two on. Now, this has been on here for a while. I feel like maybe the burning has died down a tiny bit, but I'm gonna wipe this off so you can see how much color-wise this has transformed my lips. So the only thing on my lips prior to this like was a little foundation that probably inadvertently got blended over my lips, but look at this. This is just blood flow, y'all. Look how rosy my lips have become. And yeah, even after taking this off, most of the goop of the product, look, they have blown up. See that? I can still feel some tingle, but like you apply this stuff right out to the edge. I mean, it's plumped all over. My lips have never really looked like this after a plumper. Number one, it's that blood flow, it's the irritation level, you know, really made the lips look rosy. But then also the actual size of the lips. I think there's no question. You look at my lips and they are fuller right now. So at this point, what you could do, you know, you could walk around with this on all day. You could keep putting that on all day. I don't know, I couldn't do that. But your lips are ready for some kind of an application. Now, you know, you put on a liner, you put on a lipstick and a gloss, and yeah, you're starting the day large and in charge. But just the pretty color that it develops. Like you go through something with this, but you do get a reward. I am going to do my brows and then we'll play with the eye palette and the mascara. Okay, my brows are filled in, my lips are still rosy and plump, put my eye primer on. I feel like this is something where in the years to come, in the decades to come, maybe they'll create like a better technology where people can plump their lips and it's not going to be painful, but I'm going to be an old granny and I'm going to tell my grandkids like, back in my day, I put on a lip plumper and they burn like hell. Those will be the stories I tell, makeup stories. Here's my eyeshadow palette. Here's the packaging. It's the Santa Knows When You're Being a Bee palette. We say that, you know, there may be some children listening off in the distance. We do have Santa Claus. We do have some reindeer. We've got some stars. This is the only eye palette right now in the brand. You open it up and we do have these 9 shades. We have 3 basic mattes here, 2 deeper mattes here, and then some shimmer. The mattes are what you expect and what you want. They're pigmented, they're smooth, they're not overwhelming, they blend easily. Shimmers, let's just get some swatches going on our fingers with these. They do have a soft feel. Somehow the feel is a bit more lightweight as you touch it compared to like a traditional shimmer. Sometimes I feel like some of the most traditional shimmers are in like an ABH palette. You touch them and there's almost a richness, a borderline creaminess to their feel. These are lightweight shimmers to the touch. As you can see, highly shiny, but reminding me more of the shimmers that might come out of a Maybelline City Mini palette. You know how there's a lighter quality to those. We are getting like a soft gold, a copper, this pretty blue that definitely has an interesting shift to it. Sometimes it may not come off on camera because the lighting is so full on, but sometimes the shimmer looks kind of aqua and sometimes it actually looks purple. And then we do have this pink, which the pink has a bit of a gold shift. They say this palette features spicy neutrals and festive berries that will show your good side to Santa. What I'm gonna first do is apply a little bit of this kind of peachy beige to the crease. I'll just get that going here. And you might think, is that gonna be too light to do anything? No, it does show some color. See that? Like, you'll get a small contrast out of this one. But you feel like you can apply it kind of high because it's a soft matte. I'm dusting off, or I'm tapping off just a little bit of excess off of these. Not too bad. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to the pinky shade and just maybe layer a little bit of that on as well. It's kind of an either or with those as far as starting out colors. They're both about the same intensity level. You're not gonna see the pink a lot as I overlap, but I'm just doing it. Okay, and then maybe we just want to go under the brow with this matte cream. Was it yesterday that I did an all matte look with this? Oh, I made my corn casserole last night. It was so good. Bub made ribs. Oh, day before last, I just did an all matte eye. It was really nice. Then I'm gonna bop over here. We have like a brown and a berry. They're both really rich. I mean, this berry is like a deep plum. And I'm gonna start just getting that in my crease because I think it layers pretty well with everything else. So we can get kind of a gentle depth going over here. And then I'm going to start patting that shadow down with a flat brush. Just patting on the outer part of my lid here. So we can see this isn't like a real purpley berry. It doesn't present that way in the palette either. You know, it looks like kind of a brownie plum, but we're just getting that outer corner kind of deepened up so we can put some fun splashes on the lid. And as you can see, my lips are still hanging out here being plump. There's really no more tingle that I can feel, but they're still out there. I'm gonna pick up some of that same shade now with a smaller brush. And here's where you can kind of shape the effect you're getting. Really get in that crease. So see, I have no complaints whatsoever about these mattes. They go on smoothly. They're not giving me any issues. They're blending nicely. They're good pigment. Shade-wise, just the gradient of these shades that are involved works well, and I haven't even gotten into, you know, the deep brown. But now I'm just taking my blending brush and softening that a bit. Really easy, nice setup there. Picture just putting the cream on your eye right now at this point, and you don't have to even get into the shimmer if you don't want to. Like, you could put the cream right here. But here's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna take a little brush, a little bit smaller flat brush. I'm gonna go into that blue with the purpley shift. And look how full on it applies with a brush. Yes, we're gonna hit the middle of the lid with this. Yeah. This is my first time playing with this particular shade. I've used this palette multiple times, just kind of sticking with the neutrals. But that's pretty. It looks sparkly, but it's a fine sparkle. And as that overlaps some of the plum, it does look a bit more purpley. And I'm just putting this shade on the center of the lid. It's not like a glitter. It's a micro fine sort of sparkle. And I feel like the Milani eyeshadow primer is enough to grab it. Look at this, you can apply it a little higher. It looks really pretty as it starts to overlap anything darker. So nice. So I've cleaned off my brush a little bit. Let's go inward with the pink. It looks super pink on my brush. And it's applying real pink too. Let that overlap some of the blue a bit. Oh, it's festive. Just dabbing her in here. The thicker you apply, the more pink you see. Look at that eyelid. That eyelid is rockin'. I was trying to find the picture of where I used the copper, but I did do kind of a softer look. In case you're just curious, like, can things look more subtle? I did a soft look that mainly just involved the pink on the lid, and that was really pretty. I want some of the plum under the eye too. So picture an additional look being like focusing on the brown more and then maybe doing more copper and champagne. But overall, my takeaway on this palette is this. I like the formulas, and I would probably, if they put out another palette but in different tones, I would be like, yeah, I think that's a formula I can count on. I would probably buy it. Again, the mattes are super easy to blend. The shimmers like really pop without having that coarse, chunky glitter in them. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I am gonna hit under the eye with a little bit of Kosas since I did do lower liner with shadow. I just take my Kosas Cloud Set. And somehow this helps. And then we have our Greatest Lashes of All Time mascara. Again, in a beautifully packaged tube. Our brush is short, skinny bristles. There are a few micro bristles right out to the end, but everything's pretty short. There is a taper going on there. Last few times I've worn this mascara, I have not been like shocked and amazed by what I'm getting out of it, but I'll show you and give you a real good look at it. This is my Shiseido Lash Curler. Gold, available for the holidays. I've got it linked below. I kind of think it's interesting that the only lip product right now, I mean, maybe they're really wanting people who are curious about the line to try that lip plumper. Maybe that's the strategy, because I was thinking it's kind of odd that there's no other lip colors, at least like maybe a regular gloss or just a few lipsticks out. I think it's trying to funnel people toward that lip plumper because they know it's doing more than literally any other lip plumper on the market. So here's our little tapered short bristle, rubber bristle brush. I remember talking about it in my initial haul. What it's doing a good job of right now is not sticking my lashes together and seeming to define every lash. I feel like maybe it's gotten just a little bit of the goop worked out of it to where it's defining better for me now. You guys see that? How like the lashes have kind of a fine look to them. They're not being thickened a ton, but they are being lengthened. This is like my third dip in because I want a little more building to go down. Okay, by coat 3, finally seeing some thickness building up there, and it's looking nice. It doesn't feel like it's a mascara that weighs down my lashes, which is nice for maintaining curl. I feel like you've just got to be a little patient with it in the application, like I am. I'm literally dipped in one more time. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I got it to where I wanted it, but it took like probably 4 dips in, 4 coats. And not really an overly long time to apply. Like, yes, I did dip in, but part of that was that the brush just doesn't carry much product. So by the time you've gone through the one coat, you feel like, well, that went away quick because it's just not holding a lot. And I did notice, by the way, one thing for holiday, they are giving you a combo mascara and lip plumper. I don't think that was available when I was shopping the brand several weeks ago. A little combo pack. Look at that. Like, it still looks good with one coat, and a lot of people might be content with that. My lashes need some thickening help. If you work off of the tip a little bit more, some more product will come down, or will apply. Okay, it's really starting to build now after like coat 3. I wish this mirror folded flat. It only opens so far. Okay, we've chunked them up a little bit, and because I haven't experimented with this on the lower lash line, and today's not going to be the day for that, I'm going to put Cali Ray there. So there we are with our mascara. I feel like it ultimately did a pretty good job, but it's just a little more fussing with it than I want to have to do, you know? It's definitely a mascara I can work with, but not my favorite. I really like ones that build up a little faster because I do think that allows less just sweeping through. My lashes can hold the curl that I put in better if I don't have to sweep through as many times. But the end result, if you're willing to work with it, it does look good. I'm going to line my lips. I'm using my new L'Oreal Color Riche liner here in Au Naturel. Pop that on real quick. Lips are still seeming plump, maybe not quite as pronounced as when I still had the stuff on my lip, like right after I took it off, you know? And that's the thing, you don't have to do a removal of this if you don't want to. You could let that just stay on and continue to wear it and continue to feel the burn. For me, I'll let it do its job and then I'll go on with something that I feel more comfortable wearing. But even just putting lip liner on my lips, I can tell there's a difference in my lips. And then I'm going to do my In Beauty lip glaze. This is in Merlot from that little set. I really like these. I really like using these topping off a lip liner because then, you know, I get a little more opaque color, but I can still enjoy the texture, the scent, the feel of the gloss. So overall impressions of this brand, again, we only have 5 things at this time. My personal favorite thing, my #1 tip-top thing, I like the blush palette. Granted, I'm a blush person, like that's one of my favorite elements of makeup, but this is done really well. I like all the textures. Every single shade in here is a different texture. Everything is pigmented. I really like the glow from the highlighter as well. It's fun to apply. It's fun to use different color combos. I really enjoy that. And right up there with it, I would say, is the foundation. I have liked this a lot. It looks really beautiful on my skin. It does give some hydration, yet it lasts really well. Today I used more than I think I've ever put on because I just really went for that full pump for whatever reason. And I do feel like I'm approaching a definite full coverage look with that. Even though this lip plumper really gives you a stingy, burny feel, it completely does what it says it's gonna do. And there are so many lip plumpers out there that don't. So I would have to give this high marks. Like, even though, yeah, it is a little uncomfortable, they say not for the faint of heart. Trust me, you feel it, but you do come away with an end result that truly 100% is plumped up lips. So like I would have to give this high marks as well. And I like the eye palette too. I truly don't have any complaints about it. I think on the regular, like I'm probably not gonna reach for that shade, but I think they got a great thing going on with their textures. Beautiful mattes, shimmers that still give you that kind of sparkly glitz, but aren't a pain to apply. You don't have to like go in with a full new strategy in order to make the shimmers work. They just work. I'm enjoying that too. The least favorite thing is probably the mascara, and I do have some kind of difficult lashes. They're just not huge lashes to begin with. For as much work as I put into them, I feel like maybe they should look even more spectacular than they do, but they still end up looking pretty good. So the labels I give these things are favorites, most fascinating, maybe most awe-inspiring, still really good, and okay for me. All right, so let me know what you think if you've tried anything from this line. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes out for any future launches that they do. I expect we will see concealers, maybe powders, and hopefully some other kinds of lip products too. But thank you so much for your time today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, hope you learned a few things, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.